Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sydney Spin. And we are going to update you because it was a busy week in the Big Ten. A lot of teams in warmer weather got all of their games in, besides a few, and I want to catch you all up. So let's start off with Penn State. They were our last Big Ten team to be undefeated before going into this weekend, where they dropped one to Liberty. But nonetheless, Bridget Nemeth, the freshman who we had on last week, she picked up Big Ten honors as the freshman player of the week. And the reason why is because she currently stands in first place nationally with 8 individual victories in the circle, and she leads the Big Ten with an ERA of 0.63. Absolutely insane. And then we're going to move to Maryland, who's at Stetson Invitational in Florida. They went 2-2 with both of those wins being over Green Bay, and one game was postponed. Crazy enough, it was postponed in the 4th inning, which always tough. And then we're going to go to Iowa, who went to Jacksonville, Florida, not far from Maryland. They were 2-2 with one game against Wichita State being canceled as well. On to Michigan, who spent the last weekend at UC Santa Barbara tournament. They went 4-1 on the weekend. Ohio State, they were 2-3 in the Sun Devil Classic and lost a close one to the host ASU in 10 innings, 10-12. And then Indiana Supple, they were in Tucson, Arizona, where they went 3-2 and lost as well to the host school, number 17 ranked Arizona, 10-9. This one being in 14 innings. And you're going to notice a trend. There was a lot of close game for the Big Ten against ranked opponents. And then Purdue went to Conway, Arkansas, where they went 2-3, and they split their last 2 games with SIU to wrap up the weekend. And then on to Cathedral City at the Mary Nutter Classic, where 5 Big Ten teams were represented. And for those of you who don't know, the Mary Nutter is one of the most prestigious elite tournaments that any team is able to attend. And there were 75 games played in 4 days. So 4 fields, constantly playing ranked opponents on every single site. It's really the only tournament that you can get in pre-conference play that feels like a postseason game. So a ton of fun there. I was able to call 8 games, saw a lot of great softball. But Wisconsin, they went 4-2 with 2 wins over Oregon State and number 20 ranked Utah. Northwestern went 2-2 on the weekend. They had a win against San Diego State and Oregon State as well. Plus, they lost a heartbreaker against number 19 ranked UCLA 1-0 on a dropped pop-up. Gosh, that was a tongue twister. In the 6th inning, Illinois went 2-2. They won against Cal Poly in Hawaii, and they lost to number 20th ranked Cal 11-9. Rutgers went 4-2 on the weekend. And to finish off with Nebraska, they went 2-3, 2 of those losses being within 1 run, and one of the wins against number 23 ranked Oregon. So that wraps us up for the Big Ten updates. But now on to our very special guest. We are here with Nebraska's captain, starting shortstop, also this week's Big Ten Player of the Week. And let me tell you why. Because she leads players in hits, home runs, and slugging percentage. Billy, that is absolutely insane, especially coming off of a weekend that I mentioned has some of the best teams playing it. Talk to me. How are you feeling after last weekend and just now 3 weekends in the books?
Yeah, I mean, last weekend was crazy. It was a lot of fun, and I think, like you said, that was one of the only tournaments where it feels like postseason, so early in the season, and I feel like I got that feel as well. Just seeing really elite pitchers, elite hitters, just all around players, and I think it was just super cool. That was the first time that I had been there, and it was just a really cool tournament. I think that it really gives a lot of experience going into the rest of the season.
I didn't know it was your first time. So tell me, what was your experience like? Because for those of our listeners who don't know, on every single field, there is fans surrounding. I mean, you have down every baseline in the outfield. You have how many younger girls asking you for autographs before and after games? It really is so special.
Yes, it was just super cool. Like there was fans from all different teams just like watching every game. Like there was like just schools that like weren't even playing. There's people everywhere and like just cheering on just good softball. And I think it just creates such a good atmosphere. And I feel like all the fans were so just good sports this weekend as well too. I just like I said, it's just a good atmosphere to play around. And we're at home this weekend, and we're gonna like, as you know, like we bring in big crowds. Just being in Nebraska, we our fans are outstanding. So I think it just gives us a good feel going into our first home weekend with the fans.
Absolutely. And you
Mhm.
guys have faced top-notch competition not only this weekend, but throughout, honestly, all 3 weeks you guys have had so
Mhm.
far this season. How much do you think facing such talented teams in the beginning is gonna help you guys now being home, headed into conference soon, and even postseason?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I know we've had some tough losses, but playing that good competition in those high level teams is what's going to make us better and more prepared going into postseason or Big Ten and postseason. So I think we learned a lot in those games. Lots of stuff that we can just grow from, and I think playing those high level teams can only make us better.
What have some of the messages been like in those tough games where it's by one run, either from, Coach Ronda Revelle or from you being as a captain, basically saying to your team, "We're right there."
Yeah, like it just in those types of games, it comes down to just the little things, like stuff that happens in all 7 innings, like just to keep your focus, like 1 through 7, the whole game. Anything can happen, and to just like we've been on the flip side, like we have a lead, and then the other team comes back. Like really, anything can happen, and a comeback can come at any point in the game. So just sticking with it and like having that aggressive mentality and just never giving up in the game. And I think our team we're growing from that. Like we have like a never give up mentality, but I think just continuing to grow from that as we go on.
That's what makes our sports honestly so exciting because it
Hmm.
really is until that very last out is made, you never know what can happen. It's
Yeah.
so easy to get a walk, a base hit, and then next thing you know, a 3-run bomb. And that's
Hmm.
just how our sport works, which makes it fun and exciting, but also like you're always on your toes because of
Yeah.
it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Like really anything can happen. So that's just kind of our message, just to be in every pitch. Infielders, outfielders with the pitcher every pitch, in the dugout with the hitter every pitch, and just being in the moment and just taking in what we can and doing what we can and controlling the controllables in the game. So
You mentioned that this weekend you guys have your home opener.
mhm.
And, I'm so jealous. I never got to go to Nebraska. You guys always
I
came,
know.
which
I
is
know.
ridiculous. I think I need to go back for a year so I can come to your guys' stadium. But you're right. You guys pack the house and, you have season tickets. A lot of games are sold out. What is it like playing there?
It's insane. I used to come to games when I was a little girl, and I'm like, "Whoa, there's so many people here, like, watching this game." But, like, I'm here now, and, like, I'm the one out there playing, and it's so special. The crowd gets so loud, like, so much energy that they bring into the games, and it feels good to just play for Nebraska and show out for our fans, and they give the best support out there. Yeah.
Doesn't that feel so surreal so many
Yeah.
times? Especially when you talk about you went to those games as a young girl, and now it's how many young girls looking at you saying, "I wanna be Billie Andrews someday." Like, does that
Yeah.
ever sink in?
Yeah, I mean, we had a fan day early February, I think. I think it was earlier this month, and there was little girls who came like from my hometown or like on the club team that I played for, and they're like I'm from Gretna, or like I played for Nebraska Gold too. Like, didn't you? And I was like, yeah. But it's just like cool that like I can make those connections with the younger girls, and it's really like Nebraska softball has been growing for like when I was a little girl, like there wasn't that many opportunities, but now this sport has grown so much, and I feel like honored and that I can give back to the little girls and kind of just show them that like this can be a reality for any one of you, because I was the same as you were when I like 10 years ago. So just being an inspiration and someone that they can look up to is just something really important to me, because I did looked up to these players who played here when I was a little girl.
It's so special, and you're
Yeah.
right, the sport is growing in so many ways, and you're inspiration for all these younger girls, but you also you carry the weight of being a captain on your team, which is the highest honor you could have. And so I guess I'm wondering how also are you focused on inspiring your team and bringing your team together?
Yeah, I think this season, it being my last, I just want to do what I can for the red team and for Nebraska. Uh, Nebraska has given me so many opportunities and just so many blessings, and just being here has given me so much. And I just want to do anything that I can to give what I can back and give my knowledge, my experience to all the younger girls and let them grow up through the program. But yeah, just giving what I can back to the team and back to this program is it's the bare minimum that I could do, right? It's given me so much. So I just want to do what I can, be who I am as a person and a player for the young girls growing up or coming up through the program. But yeah.
What would you say the greatest gift Nebraska softball has given you?
Probably like the relationships and like my teammates is really special. I'm still keep in touch with a bunch of old teammates that have graduated, and it's just those relationships are really special, and the relationships with the coaches as well. They care about us as people first, and it's like we created those
Mhm.
way back in the recruiting process. So just getting to know everyone and creating those meaningful relationships. I feel like I said that like 10 times, but that's like,
It's
that
true.
is, yes, I feel like that is one of the biggest things that I've gotten out of this, and just the opportunity for education and everything that Nebraska athletics as a whole has given all the student athletes. It's insane, and I've just gotten so much like for my education and like life skills and everything. I've gotten a lot of opportunities. So just being able to give back to that.
It's so important. And I love how you mentioned your coaching staff as well. And I want to talk about, Coach Ravel and the rest of them because I finally had the opportunity to speak with her last week. And, our coaches love each other. Kate, Carol, Johan, they have only ever sung her praises. So getting to meet her, I was like, I could tell that this, is a special woman, a special coach. Tell me, what is it like what cameras don't see on the field, but what is it like in practice and off the field being one of her players?
Um, it's really like she has so much experience. Like she's been in the game for so long that she has so much knowledge and wisdom. And I feel like she teaches the mental game really well. And like um, just being in the game and knowing your mentality as a competitor, just as a player, and just attacking the game that way. She gives a lot of wisdom in that aspect, and it's really cool to just learn from her in that way. Um, but practice, she can be fun. She can be rowdy, but she a little crazy sometimes. She's funny, but she can get on us sometimes too. But not too much. She's really fun to be around in practice. She brings a lot of energy to practice.
That's a good balance. As a coach, you
Yeah,
have to be able to deliver all of them at different times
yeah,
if it's needed.
yeah,
There's always the line, and then it's like when you step over, when you're gonna get
yeah,
right back in. Like you
yeah.
mentioned, you're a senior, so you've been around a lot of successful Nebraska softball teams since your time. I wanna know what makes this team you think unique from the other 3 that you've been a part of?
Um, I feel like this year we have a lot of experience. We've got like a couple transfers come in that have a lot of experience, with Peyton Cody being a 6th year, and then Jordy coming from Oklahoma, and Bella coming from Purdue as well, and bringing her experience from her first year that she played.
Mhm.
Um, and then we have a lot of upperclassmen. I think our graduating class this year is like 6 or 7 people. So just with the experience that we have, like we've been through postseason, we've been through the Big Tens, and just taking what we've learned in the past couple seasons and bringing it into this season.
Mhm.
And also, our freshmen have come in just like they've come in just full steam, and they've contributed a lot to our team already. And I feel like just everyone as a whole, we blend really well together. And mentioned it before, but we started our culture back like way back in the summer, building just our relationships. Like we're not even doing softball yet. We built our relationships
Yeah.
before we even started doing anything. And I think that has put us in a good place to where we're growing each and every day. We're with each other and we have that trust with each other on the field and off of the field. And I think that's just the biggest part of who we are as a team. We're really, really good people with who've made really good relationships with one another. And I think that is what has made this year feel so special so far.
What you said is so true, and I think so often people are waiting for season because they're like, "Well, that's when the chemistry will happen." Where if that's when you're waiting for, you're already too late. That's
Hmm.
just when the chemistry shines through of the relationships that you started building, like you said, in the summer, in the fall, in the winter when you're bringing your bag through piles of snow and you're waking up
Yeah.
early for lifting, and that's, like, when the friendships are made. And you mentioned how you wanna bring lessons over from last year. I'm curious, is there one specific one that really stands out that you guys have hammered on this year?
Um, I feel like we talked about this going into this weekend, but just the belief that we belong
Mm,
with those high level teams. I think last year we went to Clearwater and we were kind of like, oh, like we like a little not as confident. I
mhm.
would is a way to say it, but I think this year we're just like bringing the confidence and the belief that we can go further into postseason and we can go further into Big Tens, just knowing that we have the talent and we have all the tools in the toolbox and just knowing that we're there. Like we can go further and we have everything that we need to make that next step.
You guys absolutely do, and I'm glad you brought up the transfers part because, Peyton and Bella are both doing amazing things for you
Yeah.
guys in the lineup. Like, I had so much fun calling them and watching them hit this past weekend because it almost feels like they've been a part of your program forever.
Hmm.
And then you talk about Jordy Ball, which I did want to bring up briefly because, obviously the whole softball world was devastated in finding about her injury. And I want to know what it's been like since the injury, just being her teammate, watching, her go through it, but also how you guys have been next to her throughout the highs and lows as a team.
Yeah. Injuries happen and we've dealt with multiple injuries within the past year and I think like it sucks. It's something that like no one expects an injury and whenever like anyone on the team goes down it's something that we have to adjust.
Mhm.
Um but Jordy hasn't like her spirit hasn't frayed at all. She is still here every day. She is encouraging the team. She is taught like she's here every day at practice and her energy is the same as it was before. And I think and like when we're out of town, we have like a group Snapchat and she's Snapchatting us like watching the game, like cheering us on, texts us before games. Like she's still here and she still has a lot of knowledge in the game.
Mhm.
So she's contributing in ways like she's still contributing to the team. It's just in a different way than she expected to. And I think with her situation, she's doing as good as anyone would expect. And we're all behind her. She's behind us. It still hasn't changed in that aspect. And for me, I'm just excited to get to spend this year with her. We played together a while, like back in high school, and when the news came that she was coming back home, I was just excited to just be able to spend that with her. And now that the injury has happened, it still hasn't changed. So I just she's here with us. She fits really well into our team, and she still brings a lot of energy and knowledge to our within our team.
I love that. The
Yeah.
Nebraska natives all back together in
Yes.
their home state. One other player that you get to share the field with, which I think is just the most special thing, is your sister.
Yes.
Talk to me
Yes.
about what that's like for you 2 and for your family.
Yeah, I mean, we've played together for as long as I can know, and I think I committed first, and then when she committed, I was like, well, what else would happen? Like I don't like how are
But
we
you
not
had
supposed
to
to
pick
play?
this too, 'cause
Yeah,
I
yeah, like how am I not supposed to play with you, right? So I think just and like coming in my freshman year, it was a lot of help having her here. It was like moved away from family, but I moved back with Brooke, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
she was here to just help me make that transition, and that gave me a lot of help. Um, but yeah, just having her here, it's amazing. I wouldn't want it any other way, and I don't really know how to speak on it because it's like not very many people get to experience this, and
Mhm.
it's something so special. Like we're spending our last seasons together, and with her getting her COVID year, now we're graduating together. Like I would have never imagined that, and it's so special, and I wouldn't really want it any other way. It's playing with her. I live with her. Like I wouldn't want college to go any other way than with her by my side.
Your parents have to just love that. I mean,
Yeah.
they can just come by you guys, come to your apartment,
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
That's
They Yeah, I think they're already thinking about senior day. Like, do we walk with both of you? Like, do you get one pair? Do you like mom gets Brooke, dad gets Billy? Like, I'm like, I'm sure you can do whatever you want. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, they're happy that we get to do this together. I think we have so much support from our family. We have two older siblings, um, cousins who live nearby, aunts and uncles who come to games all the time. Our grandparents are out every home game. Just the support from our family it's unmatched, and I appreciate them so much, and yeah, it's special.
that is so special, and I
Yeah.
think, when you decide to play for your home state, like both of you did, I feel like that's what encapsulates all of that and lets everyone be a part
Hmm.
of it, your family, your friends.
Yeah, and like my a lot of my like high school coaches will come to games, or like just old like teammates that I used to play with who still live in the area. Like they'll come to games, and it's special, and it's like, or like when we play teams and like some of my old teammates come back to Nebraska and their families are filling the stands, like it's super cool to see because there's so like softball is a big culture in Nebraska, and seeing all these people that I've met throughout the years, like seeing them either playing against them or like seeing their families in the stands, seeing just like little girls in the stands, like it's it's so crazy, and it's like I love it, and I wouldn't want to play anywhere else. Like playing here is so special. It was my dream, and I feel like it's literally come full circle, and it's here, and I'm living my dream, and I get to look out there and I see my friends, I see my family, and that wouldn't happen if I was somewhere else. So it's honestly just a dream come true playing here.
That makes me so happy to hear, and
Yeah.
when you say if I say, "What is Nebraska softball?" For you, is it just that whole community piece that you were
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah. The community, the relationships, the people here, it's unmatched, and people say there's no place like Nebraska. I feel like that's the best way that I can explain it. The community in Nebraska it's awesome. It's special. Yeah, it's special here.
Oh, my, like, cheeks hurt
Yeah.
from smiling so much listening to that. I'm like, "But this is what it's all about. This is what, college softball." And you were how old were you when you committed?
I think I was going to be a freshman, so 14, 15.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
you have this dream, and now it's almost everything and even more than you could have ever
Yeah.
asked it to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, so
It's Yeah, it's just a dream come true. I don't There's no other way to say it.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. So, as we're wrapping up here, we talked about how special Nebraska has been for you. Tell me a little bit about what you want your last few months to look like, how you wanna leave everything, on the field with your team, what you want really your mark and your legacy to be here and any team goals you might have as well.
Yeah, I think the last few months, I just wanna take it day by day and just have fun and enjoy it because it's gone by quick, and these, like it's the last couple months of games, and it's like, it's a sad, happy, happy, sad, so I just wanna take it day by day, take it as slow as I can, ride it out till the end, but as a team, I think or, like, being a captain as a part of this team, I just want this team as a whole to just be remembered for who we are as players, who we are as people. Like when people watch our games, that I want them to think those girls are competitors. They have fun. They love softball, and I think that's just if we play like that, if we play like competitors, we are having fun. Only good things can come from that. So I just taking it serious, but not too serious, just having fun along the way. Yeah, and I think the end goal for everyone is be the last team standing, make it to the College World Series, and I think we're working every day towards that, and I think we're growing every day towards that. So I'm excited to see where the season takes us, but also want it to go by slow.
The perfect mix of all.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Billie,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. To see your love for the sport, for your team, for your program, and for your home state is truly so unmatched. And I know I speak to anyone who's listening. Everyone became a fan of you today and a fan of Nebraska softball. So best of luck this season, and I cannot
Thank
wait to
you.
keep following you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.